our brethren living in those countries in Eastern Africa, that they might be spared from this plague of locusts. It also makes me think, in ancient Israel there were prophets who warned the people, and the majority didn't listen. Nowadays we have no, as far as I know at least, no such prophets with messages of Yahweh, but we have things like United Nations, and we have sort of prophets there who watch the situation and who warn, who say, hey, this is serious, these people are in need, Western governments especially, please step in to aid, to send aid. One United Nations agency dealing with such disasters said 70 something, 74 or so million US dollars were needed to fight against those locusts if the people or the governments don't give necessary aid. Well, then afterwards maybe 10 or 20 times more funds will be needed to feed those people, because there are probably hundreds of millions of locusts, and they are eating the food of millions of people. They are eating the food of millions of people. So people who are already extremely poor, so they will either starve or at the very least have very little to eat and a very unbalanced diet at the very least, if they have anything to eat. So it's not having such severe trials is also a blessing often by itself. Being in your routine, everything is just normal. Nothing new. Oh, well, boring. Well, no, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Yes, husbands, love your wives. Yes. I guess that is a totally new message. No one ever told the husbands that they need to love their wife, I guess. No. Of course, it's something we know. This is, let's say, a continuation or a counterpart, if you want, of last week's message about wives, submit unto your husbands as unto Yahweh. First of all, I recognize my own continuing need for improvement in this area. I told you before, elders are not perfect. No elder on the planet is perfect. So when an elder is teaching something, well, he's also speaking to himself. We elders must apply what we, or at least try to apply what we teach ourselves. In this message I will cover various scriptures that speak of the role of husbands in Scripture. Having a loving, this message is important. One of the reasons why it's important is that having a loving and scriptural husband-wife relationship is probably the single most influential factor in raising righteous children. Or in simpler words, if you have a good marriage according to biblical guidelines, that is very important to raise righteous children. Why is that? Because, well, teaching children is one thing, but they learn more from our example than from our words. They watch us all the time, and they imitate our behavior. A woman, a wife, is a gift to be cherished. From the beginning, Yahweh knew that it was not good that the man should be alone. Let's once more go to Genesis 2:18. Genesis 2 verse 18. Let's read it again.